when I teach my clinics, it's the first thing in there, is navigation.
Navigation.
Because the big woods, hunting in the big woods is different than anywhere else because you're on your own in the woods and they're big, hence big woods, and there's not necessarily a lot of roads. And in some cases, you can hunt where there is more road system. But if somebody's used to hunting in a 40-acre farm lot or around fields and stuff, you get into a piece of woods that's even 1,000 acres, it's probably going to be a little intimidating, let alone, 1,000 square miles, So if you don't learn how to navigate, what I mean by navigating is the first step is learning map and compass. You're probably not going to get more than a quarter mile from the road, right, Lee? You're going to walk in on a skidder trail and look around and sit on a log, and you're going to get back out because you're too scared to go anywhere. So by learning how to navigate and getting comfortable in the woods, it'll allow you to get into the woods. And you can get beyond that and maybe into some land navigation. You can learn along the way and, how to read the ridges and pay attention to which way the streams run. All of that stuff, you'll get it along the way. But you got to know map and compass. Everybody in the last generations had a GPS, and they think it's the answer, and it's a great tool, but it's electronic equipment. I've said it many a times, don't trust electronic equipment with your life. So it's a handy tool, use it, mark your points, mark your truck. Same way, OnX is the same thing. You're using it as a GPS in your phone. It's a great tool. I use it all the time. I mark, sign in places I find in the woods. If I'm in unfamiliar territory, I'll mark the truck. But I always know when I go in the woods, when I leave the truck, I know which way the road I'm leaving is running and which side of it I'm going, right? I mean, that's just, I do it because it's basically, we didn't have GPS. So if you got an east-west road you're on and you go in the north side, you got to come out some kind of a southerly direction and you'll get out. It's that simple in the beginning. But so if you drop your phone or your GPS in the water and its screen goes blank, pull your compass out and go the direction you need to go to get to that road. You don't have to get back directly to the vehicle, right? You just got to get back to the road. Once you're out on the road, you ain't lost,
My dad taught me a lot of valuable skills. And my dad was a contractor, so he taught me a lot of building skills and everything. And he taught me a lot of hunting skills. But the first skill that my dad taught me when I was 10 years old, he gave me that brass pin-on compass, which I'm still carrying 50 years later. And he expected me, again, I was 10 years old, and for the first few years, I had to follow him around. And my dad was a 6-footer with long legs, and I was little when I was a kid. He expected me to keep up, but he would always stop and, say, what direction do you think we need to go now? Or, we started hunting out, not in really big woods, but up in the New Vineyard Mountains. They were big pieces of woods. And yeah, he expected me to navigate, and he taught me how to navigate. And I ended up, I'm old school Lee. I was probably the last person to get a GPS, but I always navigated with just a compass. And even now, I tell people, I love OnX. It's a super, really good tool. I still carry if I'm going to go on a full day and it's in some place where I haven't been before, I've got my little Garmin original GPS. I'll mark my truck with that just in case my OnX, my phone dies or whatever, or God forbid I lose my compass. But so I still use that stuff, but people would probably think I'm crazy. I still navigate most of the time with that pin-on compass on my chest. And I think about it this way. When you're driving, you're not supposed to be running your cell phone, right? Because you're not paying attention. I'll bet there's a lot of people that are on their phone or on their GPS way too often, and it's going to cost them.
Yeah.
They might, with me, again, I know basically I'm following a track or whatever, but if I do need to look and see what direction I am or what direction I want to go. It's just a brief glance at my compass, and at the end of the day, I might need something else to get me where I want to go. But for the most part, I'm just eyeballing a pin on compass.
Yeah. And up my way, I navigate a lot just by, if you're in the mountains and them high ridges, you can usually see
Right.
out anyway, unless it isn't snowing or raining or something. And you can always almost know exactly where you are just by looking out and recognizing the next mountain over, a pond or lake or whatever it is. And then if you know that and it's you put it in your mental map, it makes that pretty easy. So
So all of them are good tools, but the other thing I wanted to touch on is, like Hal was saying, they're an electronic instrument, so they can fail. So even if you're really good with Onyx and GPS, make sure that you know how to use your compass too, because in the end, it's more fail-safe than those other two.
If you like that, make sure you check out bigwoodsbucks.com for more content.
And don't forget to sign up for our newsletter.